I want to talk to you today about forgiveness. We all have people in our lives that we would probably like to forgive because going around with disdain or hatred or some sort of anger towards another person is it has no value. It only brings us down. It doesn't hurt the other person. It just makes our lives miserable and something we want to get rid of. We want to get rid of it on a personal level, but also on a spiritual level. And so we have these people in our life. Maybe it's somebody from your childhood, maybe it's somebody from your life currently. And you have to deal with these people and you have to deal with these memories and these feelings and the different ways that can be done. Sometimes it's a good idea to just make that relationship go away in the sense that maybe you need to trade jobs. Maybe you need to end a relationship. I mean, we don't want to be in toxic relationships. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes it might be with a parent or a sibling or your next door neighbor, and it's pretty tough to put those behind you, but you have to deal with them. And how do we do that? Well, as a Christian, and this is just good advice for anybody, but as a Christian particularly, we're called to pray for our enemies. And so, if we can pray for our enemies, if you can pray for your enemies, that's the first step. Not necessarily easy. It's not necessarily, something you want to do, but it's something you need to do. And realizing that they are people, no matter how vile you think they are, that were created in the image of God, even if they're not acting like it. And so we need to pray and pray honestly and openly to God, because you can lie to people and get away with it once in a while. Maybe you shouldn't lie to people, but I'm just saying you obviously can. But lying to God never works well, because God knows what's in your mouth and he knows what's in your mind. Most importantly, he knows what's in your heart. And so, your prayer may have to be just like, God, I don't like this person and I'm having a lot of trouble forgiving them. In fact, I feel like I can't stand them. But please help me with my turmoil, with my anger. But help them. Help them see their sins. Help them see the pain that they're causing and help them repent. Help them find truth and peace and joy and salvation. And help me to be happy if that happens. And you might say, why would I do that? Okay, we talked about, it only hurts you, the anger, but let's put it in another perspective. Well, listen, a scenario here. Let's say somebody that's just a total rotten person knocks on your door. The doorbell rings, you open it, and they're standing there. And the first thing you're thinking is, what do they want? Oh my. But they're standing there and maybe they're a little bit teary eyed and they say, I just want to say I'm sorry. I realized all the awful things that I've been doing and I've been a jerk and I don't want to be that person anymore. I just want to apologize to you and I know you may not be able to forgive me, but it'd be great if you could. And if you can't, I'll understand that. But I do want to do better. And I do want to be a better person. And I do realize what I've done has been wrong. And you would be like, this is weird. But then they say, well, I found Jesus and I've been convicted of my sins and I'm born again and I want to be a new person. I want to be a better person. And I may fail at that sometimes, but I'm going to try and I'm going to keep trying until I get it right. Now, if that scenario happened, how would you feel? And you'd be first off wondering, are they really sincere? And what's their angle? But what if you're convinced they are sincere? Well, then the world's a better place. It's a better place for that person. better place for the people around that person. It's a better place for you. So that should bring joy to you. And not only that, it's a better place for the kingdom. It's a win for God's kingdom. And so that should bring you joy. And so that outcome is something to focus on when you're praying for these people. And you might be like, well, yeah, but this guy is such a jerk. There's no way that he's going to change. Well, let me tell you a little story. There's a guy a while back. His name was Saul. He was from Tarsus. You may have heard of him. He wasn't the nicest person. He wasn't the ideal Christian. In fact, he kind of liked to kill Christians. He liked to be a part of that. He liked to persecute Christians, even to hold your coat if you wanted to stone one to death, for example. So Saul was not really the perfect person. And yet, God, Jesus, turned him into Paul the Apostle. And he ends up writing most of the New Testament. So if God can do that with Saul of Tarsus, whoever you're dealing with, he could do that with them too. Or maybe not that exactly, but something along those lines. So pray for them and realize it might not take one prayer. It might take months, years of prayer. It may not be just your prayer. Maybe other people praying for them too. Hopefully there are. And if nothing else, once you pray for a person and you sincerely pray for a person and say, God, I know you want this, so I want this. Please help this person be better. It makes it a lot harder to be angry at them. It doesn't make it impossible, but it makes it harder to be angry at them. It makes it easier to see them as a person created in the image of God. And it makes you hopeful that maybe someday they will change, that they will have their eyes opened. So hopefully that works out for you and hopefully they change. But even if they don't change, if you can change because of it, because I think forgiveness really starts with prayer. And it's possible. Both of those scenarios, both of those things are possible. So stick with it, and it may not happen on your timeline, and it may not get responded to in the way that you anticipate, but God can use evil for good. He can, do what Joseph said, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. And so pray for the people who most anger you. And, not just the people in your life, but the evil people in this world, the terrorists, the haters, the people who spread deceit, the media. Yes. Pray for them all, sincerely, because the world needs that. We would benefit a lot if more people turn to Christ. So I hope this helps in some way. I hope it starts you on a process of letting go of maybe some baggage and maybe finding a little bit more happiness from putting things behind you. And I hope you have a sincerely fantastic week. I hope you're filled with joy and contentment. And I hope that you share that joy and contentment with people around you. So until next time, thanks for watching.